Hello, how are you? Happy Lughnasadh. I have a couple of special offers because it's Lughnasadh, and I'll tell you about it later. But for now, I'm just thinking about Lughnasadh as being a new period of time we're moving into. You know, we've got beginnings and endings, and so it's kind of, we've come to the end of the summer season. Bealtaine has been and gone. We've come through summer solstice, and now we're at the beginning of autumn, which is heralded by Lughnasadh. And so I'm just doing a little bit of tidying up around here, and yesterday I was doing quite a lot of harvesting, and I'm going to get on with that again shortly. But before we get into the video, I just want to say to you, I want to bring you in the house and show you the YouTube channel, because several people that ask me how do they find out where the recipe is, or how do they find out the extra information, and where is this box underneath the video. So come in the house and I'll show you where it is. Okay, so here we are, we're on YouTube, Danu's Irish Herb Garden. Here's the film that I did last week. Last week it was making soap with garden flowers, and immediately underneath the video there's a little bit of information here, and if you click on this word more here, M-O-R-E, it opens up the box and all the other information is revealed. So on this video, because it was about soap making, there's a recipe here with all the quantities and the instructions, and there's a bit of other information as well. And any time that I say, look in the box below, this is what I'm referring to. So some videos I might be making something, or I might be referring to something and I can put a link there. So it's handy to know, you just have to click that word more. So I hope that's helpful. And now let's get back outside and talk about Lughnasadh harvest. So here we are in the wonderful season of Lughnasadh. Lughnasadh is the term used in Irish for the month of August, and it means the gathering of Lugh. For me, Lughnasadh marks the transition from summer to autumn. So the last big festival was at Bealtaine, which was marking the beginning of summer, and we've come through that, and we've come through the summer solstice, and we've now swung around to Lughnasadh, which is harvest time. It's the beginning of harvest time. So after all the hard work during spring and summer, sowing seeds, watering, weeding, you know, fertilizing with the nettle teas and whatever, and we're waiting for the crops to grow and flourish. Suddenly, the waiting is over. Now we can begin to harvest. So we've been very, very lucky with the onions. We've got a lot more than I thought I'd ever sowed. They've done really well. They all look healthy. And our potatoes are very promising as well. They're looking really promising, the few that we've harvested already. We've got a few beds down in the other garden. But here it was a little test plot, because I got some of these purple potato seeds from my biodynamic teacher. And I just grew them to see what they'd be like. So we had some the other day, and they're very unusual. I mean, they taste lovely, but they just look quite alien on the plate. You know, they remain purple, and it's not just the skin. So the Swedes and the turnips are all doing well. And when I pick these, I always throw the leaves into the chickens because they get a little treat. And they really enjoy pecking away. So the rhubarb has really flourished as well this year. I've already harvested quite a lot and I've got a freezer full, so I'm pulling this next bit for my sister-in-law. These leaves are toxic, so they're not going to the chickens. I'm not sure if rhubarb is that popular these days because it's quite tart and it's not sweet like strawberries and raspberries and berries and things. But it has a variety of uses. I make pies and crumbles, I make jam, I whip up mousses and things with cream. It makes really lovely desserts because it just brings that, I don't know, that tartness to things that's really welcome these days as a change. So I make jam with rhubarb and ginger, and I make pies with rhubarb and blackberries, rhubarb and strawberries. You know, there's lots you can do with it. It encourages you to be creative. What I'm going to do is go down to the beehives and just place them on the ground around the hives because it's kind of a hygienic measure. They help to keep pests such as the varroa mite at bay because of the oxalic acid. And the next time I harvest the rhubarb, the other leaves will actually go into the hives in between each of the supers. Just helps keep the bees healthy. So many of our apples are ready now for harvest. You know, when they twist off easily, they're ready. And it's all about keeping an eye on them so that they don't actually fall off the branch. But I've just discovered that early apples, such as ours, the ones that are ready early on, they just don't keep as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake. I've just found a lovely cake recipe, which I'm going to make. And the rest of them, I think I will process so that I have them ready for apple pies and crumbles. And I think I might dehydrate some as well this year. And while we're in Lughnasadh and we're thinking of harvest, we can also think about what we have harvested personally ourselves, you know, within ourselves. So we can say, what have we harvested in our lives? I think I've harvested an abundance of love, I'm glad to say. I'm very fortunate in that. But I'm also trying to grow more patience. But every year my crop is small and measly, and I'm going to just have to do a lot better in future. But even though the crop of patience isn't great, our crop of onions is really good this year and will keep us going for a good 6 months or more, I would think. Wow, so here's more of the onion harvest. I'm just laying these out to cure. I almost forgot yesterday that they had to cure. But anyway, so Lughnasadh, the meaning of Lughnasadh is actually Lu's gathering, because Lu had a foster mother called Teltu, and she was a sovereign goddess. And she had cleared all the land of rocks and boulders, and she'd levelled the plains so that people could grow their food and graze their animals. And it was such an exhausting, hard job to do that she actually died from the physical exertion. And as she was dying, she said to Lu, her foster son, who was a member of the Tuatha so he's one of the she asked him to not forget her, and he promised that he wouldn't. and he created a gathering. He brought everybody gathered together to celebrate her life. And because he was the god of, and he was a master of all the arts and crafts, he set up games of strength and battles of wits and endurance, and people brought their arts and crafts that they'd made, and there was dancing and singing and music, and all of this was done in honour of Teltu. And these gatherings, and the games, running and jumping and everything, actually were pre-Olympic games, so that's how ancient they were. And events go on in Ireland to this day. You know, we have horse fairs, we have races, we have agricultural fairs where people bring, you know, their animals and their produce and their arts and crafts. And so it's amazing to think it is still extant today, slightly different of course. And another thing that happened at Lughnasadh was that people would arrange their marriages, they would settle their disputes with the law, they would organise contracts, and all of these things happened at Lugh's gathering. So when we stop to think about it, Lughnasadh is not just about harvest, it's about life itself. All the arts and the crafts, they are what make us human. They stir our emotions. They, if we participate in them ourselves, we feel that sense of satisfaction. Arts and crafts, they bring people together. They gather people together. So really, Lughnasadh is not just about harvest. It's about life itself, really. All those arts and crafts where people create beauty, come together in community, these arts and crafts that stir our emotions, it's what makes us human, it's what makes life worthwhile. Should keep all that in mind. It gives great satisfaction as well when you're doing things for yourself. And let's not forget Teltu in all of this. We tend to think of it as Lu, but actually Teltu was his foster mother, a sovereign goddess who gave her life to help humanity by preparing the land, and it is she that we are actually celebrating at this time. And Lugh's devotion, dedication, love and respect for his foster mother is what generated the gathering, and he reminds us to respect all women, especially our mothers. And you know, let's be honest, we've all come from a mother. We are all born of woman. Even those who promote transhumanism were born of a human mother. In fact, it's that divine feminine energy that creates all life, including this harvest, and including all the arts and crafts, because it's that divine principle that moves through people and gives them that creative ability. And for men, it's the anima. And in fact, actually, I'm going to put a link below, in the box below, of an article I read on Substack this morning, which I think really illuminates this argument, this discussion, better than I can articulate. So I'll put the link below. And I've nearly done my onions now, so I'm going to just finish off quickly. But before I go, there's a word from our sponsor. Hello, I'm the sponsor of Danu's Irish Herb Garden, and I just want to let you know there are two special offers. If you go to the website and you go into the Hawthorne Academy, you can choose any herbal course there and you will get a free Lughnasadh festival from the Wise Woman Way training. And the herb bundle is there as well and will be there until the end of August if you'd like to avail of that. And finally, I'm looking for an apprentice, and this is really pertinent just to the people in Ireland, but if you'd like to learn about herbal medicine and how to grow and process the herbs, I am looking to give that tuition in exchange for some work in the garden. And if you are interested, please email me, send in your CV and the reasons why you'd like to do this, and then we'll get started. So I hope you're having a wonderful harvest, and I'm just enjoying this time of year. So I'm going to get on with my onions now, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed today's film. If you did, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a look at the website danusirishherbgarden.com for more information about us and about the herbal medicine courses I offer and the Wise Woman Way training. And if you go to the shop, you can find the books, the weed handbooks and other herbal goodies. And remember, we put a new film out every Sunday. So looking forward to seeing you next week.